I used to always wonder why are all the major religions kind of similar? I used to think that maybe there was really originally one story and each culture kind of groomed it to be their own. But now I realize it is very true. There is one story. There is one person. One person that started all religions. Doesn't matter what you name him. He appeared and made sure his story was heard and told us how we should live. He told it according to how each culture would understand and accept. I'm talking about Jesus. How would you guys feel if I told you that Jesus was an Anunnaki? Jesus appeared in many different shapes and forms. Jesus was an Anunnaki who appeared to the Hindus, who appeared to the Buddhas, who appeared to the Jews, who appeared to every major culture, who later wrapped religion around his teaching to show us and guide us to freedom. So if you're watching this video, you probably already know the story behind Enki and Enlil, Anu, the Anunnakis. Enlil was granted lordship over their planet, their home planet, Nibiru, and Enki was sent down to Earth. Just real briefly, Enki should have been the rightful heir to Nibiru, but Enlil not so much stole it, but took it. And Enki and his brother Enlil were always fighting about it. Enki was the one that created humans, spliced DNA, and created the first Adam and Eve. Originally, they were made to help out and basically be like a slave race, but Enki had he had like a soft spot for people. So basically, when you read in the Bible all those different terrible, like Sodom and Gomorrah, where the whole city was destroyed, and Noah's flood, like the city of Babylon, all those stories, those are all Enlil. Enlil was the one destroying everything because he had no love for humans. He was actually jealous that his brother Enki was the first one to create something and not him. So anyways, getting back to Jesus. Jesus was an Anunnaki who was sent from above to reestablish order. One of Enki's creations. A hybrid. The Anunnaki sent him down. They had it all planned. Where he was going to be born. Who was he going to be born to. And they knew that he had to stay in the hiding because the Anunnakis were already very well known. Jesus had many different names. See, the Bible only talks about from age 30 to 33. They talk about briefly him growing up and being a carpenter and doing a few things. But from age 17 to 29, he actually traveled. He traveled the world. He went to India and he went to Tibet. He was a student and a teacher of both Buddhism and Hinduism. Jesus was just one of many messiahs, or should I say prophets, that were sent by the Anunnakis to, basically that might be a reason why the Jewish nation was God's chosen people, not so much because they were the only chosen people, but because that was his area to prophesy, to spread the word, of how humans should act and the laws of nature and what qualifies as a good person to have eternal freedom. Jesus was one of the most successful messiahs on the planet. He managed to plant seeds of obedience and unconsciously spread the principle of divine and conquer among humanity. This is why, as soon as he came back at the age of 30, he was well known that he was already a Messiah, and the Roman leaders were alarmed that Jesus might be reinforcing Enlil's rival with Marduk, who competed with Enlil. Basically, the Romans and the Hebrew leaders, they worried that Jesus would be like Enlil, who wanted to basically be the highest god and rule. So that's why they accused him of being, a Messiah, and they attempted to crucify him. Horus, Mithra, Krishna, and Jesus Christ, and a few others, all have the same description. They were all born of a virgin, all born in the East, the Middle East area. They all could perform miracles. All were claimed to be supernatural. Some have like little differences here and there, but they have, 12 disciples. They all died, and they all were resurrected in 3 days. The only difference is they were all born on different timelines. Is it possible that Jesus was an Anunnaki and was actually reincarnated multiple times in different areas, attempting over and over again to spread the word? Is it possible that Jesus was an Anunnaki hybrid? From what we've seen over and over again, the truth is always hidden under a pile of lies and is twisted and turned upside down until the only little truth remains so obscured that we don't know what to believe anymore. The Bible has missing chapters such as the Book of Enoch, the Book of Jubilees, the Book of Numbers, the Book of War of Jehovah. So one must question, why would any of these books be eliminated? What we know through these missing books is that Jehovah, El Shaddai, and eventually called Yahweh, was known as God, and was a God of vengeance and wrath. Is it possible that when Jesus replaced Jehovah, that people are unknowingly worshiping the same God of vengeance and wrath? What is also known about the Bible is that it is written in perfect reverse astrological order. As we move through the precession of the equinoxes, which explains the reverse order of astrological signs. For example, when the Israelites idolized the golden calf when Moses went to the mountains, it symbolized the age of the Taurus. When Moses blew the ram's horn, it symbolized the age of Aries. When Jesus fed the masses with 2 fish, it symbolized the age of Pisces. When Jesus said to follow the man bearing the pitcher of water, it symbolized the age of Aquarius. If nothing else, the Bible teaches us about astrotheology was used to control the masses because the Bible's timeline brings us to an artificial end time right now, which is why we're seeing the power trying to invoke the revelation when we could be living in world peace and harmony instead of chaos. What if the Bible is an encrypted timetable for the return of the galactic family? Is it possible that the ruling elite know this and are trying to create the end times to prevent humanity from ascending in order to harvest our energy for their own archonic reasons, while keeping us living in fear as economic slaves to a broken system? Perhaps these times will bring us to the return of the Anunnaki, the creator gods. It's interesting that in Genesis 1:26, Genesis, or the genes of Isis, it says, "Let us make man in our own image." Let us are the Elohim. Who were the creator gods in the Bible? Is it possible they were the Anunnaki?